And the reason we have wild hair stories is because we have to. And I think that ties to how and why the Crown Act is so important to us. I know that people dismiss it so quickly, are ready to toss it off, but the depth and the nuance that we have gone through in just 20-minute conversation about hair is just scratching the surface of why we need a policy to protect us. I want to talk about the Crown Act, but I feel like the wild story got such a good response that I'm gonna go there first, and I'm gonna tee mine up. So I've been natural because of economics, right? And I was taking care of it myself through trial and error and experiment. And I finally found a hairdresser, and it took me living 7 years because I lived in Huntington, West Virginia when I lived in West Virginia. It took me 7 years of living, seven, nine. It took me 9 years of living in West Virginia in Huntington to trust that someone knew how to hold and care for my hair outside of me. And I wasn't necessarily doing a 100% great job. And I finally found a person that I trust, and she like did a beautiful job. She gave me color. I got a silk press, which I only do that like once or twice a year because of shrinkage and humidity. It ain't worth the effort and it ain't worth the price. But unless the weather is perfect. And um and she up and moved her shop because there was like a family situation, and she didn't want to set up shop or continue to set up shop in Huntington. And I drove 5 hours to Detroit to 8 Mile because that's where she was from and that's where she set up shop. I was straight up on 8 Mile. Eminem had crap on me, and sitting to the point where when she was done with my hair and it was like 8 o'clock at night, she's like, I gotta walk you to your car. And I was like, why? She's like, girl, just trust me. I'm gonna walk you to your car. And the first thing that came out of my mouth, because this is how important it is for me to have my hair done well, cared for, done right, was I turned around to her and I was like, listen, whatever this family situation is that you got going on, you need to straighten it out and come back to Huntington so I ain't got to drive 5 miles both each way to get my hair done. And she's like, girl, you literally, I'm like, I'm all in your business now. What do we need to do to get anything corrected? Because I can't keep driving 5 hours to get my hair done. But I sat there and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do this again. I did it one more time. So there's ways and things that you will do to look a certain way. And Myya, I think you said it when you were talking about your hair, resonated deeply with me. Sometimes it's not about the outward projection. There's some there, right? There's some part of like, I want to look presentable. I got to be respected on blah, 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 blah. But a lot of it is like my own perception. Like if I don't feel good in my skin or in my hair, then I can't be who I am. And so like a lot of the ways in which I would drive 5 hours again, probably if I knew where she was, is because she made me feel good, right? She made me feel good. So I know in my heart why I did it. It cost me gas, money, it costs all the things. But I probably would do it again if I could find her and or somebody that could treat my hair the way that she did. But I'm gonna leave it on the table in the circle. Anybody can pick up the mic. What's your wildest story?
So this goes back to the wig. So my sorority sister did my wig, and because it was a sorority conference, I was like, I'm not trying to touch my hair. I know how me and my natural hair get. I'm not trying to do it. So she put the wig cap on, and I was like, this is tight. I'm like, is it going to stay? Like, yeah, it'll stay. I was like, all right, cool. And so I drive the 2.5 hours home. I'm chilling. I'm like, wow, this is like really tight. But I'm thinking nothing of it. And so I am sitting down. Oh, sorry, I heard the echo. So I'm sitting down in my living room, and all of a sudden, I just like feel this like kind of release, and the wig cap popped off under my wig, and I was just like, "Oh my God, I don't have anything on me. I left it on 2.5 hours away. I was going to Cleveland the next morning, so and it's like you know how Charleston is, it's open. It's like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm just like." Oh my God, how can I fix this? I didn't put the wig on. I don't know how to put a wig on. And so I just like take it off and I just have like the little braids underneath and I'm just sitting now in the dark. Like, how am I supposed to get this done before I go to Cleveland? When I'm with a bunch of my sorority sisters. And so I'm looking up places like one place is open the earliest, and they were like one shop on the west side that opened up early. And I was like, okay, I was like, I gotta get it. I was like, I need to find the hair dryer. I'm like flashlight in our linen closet trying to get the hair dryer. And like I said, I don't know how to do a wig. So I'm on TikTok trying to figure out how to do a wig. I'm up for hours. And so I realized that now since I have a big old head, I need 2 wig caps. But once I got to Cleveland, I laid the wig right. But yeah, that was my worst fear come to life. I was like, thank God I wasn't in public and the wig just like flopped up in the back. Like I would have been devastated.
Thank you, Camryn. I see you coming off on mic, Myya. You got a story?
Oh, yeah, I have. It's more like a hair era I was in. Okay, so it was so this Freda remembers. Oh, special time. Okay, so like this is my first stop. Okay, because I used to have to, like in elementary school mainly, I had to wear my natural hair out, and it just wasn't given. But anyways, this is the beginning of 6th grade year, and I was gonna come to middle school with box braids. I was excited because at first my mom, we didn't have the money to pay for like all like a known hairstylist or somebody to do it really good. So we had my cousin do it, right? And my mom, she did me dirty because she let me choose the hair, the color, everything, right? So I decided to get white, orange, and yellow. Like there was no black or nothing. It was just white, orange, and yellow. And my cousin, she's not too experienced, so she just had big braids, just like boxes in my head. And you just had red, I'm not red, but orange, yellow, and white. And they just called me candy corn at school. It was like bad. And then there was another time I wanted, my mom would still let me choose my hair colors, and I chose pink and blue. There was no black. The bases were pink and blue. And they called me baby reveal. And it was just bad. Like I just had some colors in my head. Like she could do black in the front and the color in the back, but my whole head was just blue and pink. And then you saw the black roots. It was bad. Like my yearbook photos are just so embarrassing. And I was in middle school because it was just like my mom didn't have to do me like that.
You got a picture in that? Oh,
It's like multiple people have photos because I thought I was her. I thought I was the baddest on the block in first grade, not first grade, but 6th grade year, and it was embarrassing because they'd just be like, "Wow," and I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, "Y'all are just mad." Dude, I was embarrassed. Like, and my mom wanted to talk about something. It's so cute. He was wrong. It's like that's it though. But I had a crochet era too. That was bad. Now, that was 8th grade year. And this is when I'd have my hair just like, it'd be crochet, straight backs, and then they crochet it in. So I just wear my hair in just a little ponytail right here, right? And I didn't do my edges. So I just like take gel and just push them all back, right? And it was to the point like my whole front of my head was just white. Like I was just walking around and the front of my head was just white, and it was bad. And the crochet would come out sometimes at middle of school day. And it was embarrassing. Like my hair came a long way because I just walk around looking crazy. Like my Snapchat memories, I'll see it sometimes and I'll just be like, why my mom and sister let me walk around like that? But that's really it. It's just
We're coming close to the wrap of our conversation. And I know that you guys are both brilliant. You're all brilliant. You're vocal. You are representing Black women and Black girls in a beautiful way, particularly in West Virginia. And so I wanted to get your thoughts, articulating why the crown is so important, because I feel that folks, particularly those in power, have been brutal in their slighting of why this is significant. I wish it were not as significant. I wish we did not have to fight for public policy so that we could walk in the hair that grows off our heads in the way that it grows or the way that we want to style it or wear it. But I feel this is an opportunity for you to speak to truth to power. What is it about the Crown Act and the need for it that you fight for, or that you're angry, and we have every right to be angry, that you're angry that you even have to fight for it? I would love for folks to talk about that.
When I first learned about the Crown Act, I was a freshman at Black Policy. I had no idea what it was, and everybody was like, "This is important." I was just like, "Why?" Like, we do it anyway. Like, why? Like, I was just so confused, and still, I'm like still a little confused about it. Like, still now, like I don't fully understand. But from what I was told, like, I mean, like, I've never had like no one's ever told me you couldn't wear like my braids to where I'm supposed to be at. But I get there's other people that can't wear braids. Like I just find that baffling. Like other people can't be accepted for wearing braids or like a just a common afro or crochet anything. And I feel like that's just enough fighting for itself. Like you can't express your beauty, your culture. Like I mean, at the end of the day, this is all us. Like because some people like they like me. I can't deal with my hair on a good day-to-day basis, so I have to do this. Like put in a ponytail and go out my day. But like for you to sit there and say I can't, like it just kind of gives me a side eye.
I think the people in power need to realize it's based off of Eurocentricity, of where they want us to be white people. They want our hair to conform to them. For me, it's really important because I could walk in with my natural hair and someone can tell me that I can't have a job. So the economic benefit, the economic power is resting on my hair. But if I come in a wig and it's straight, they're going to give me a job. So I think the difference in knowing that you're telling me one thing's natural because the wig is human hair. It's not synthetic, it's human. So you're telling me I can't have I can't have my natural hair, but I can have somebody else's natural hair. Even when it comes to specific colors for Black women, and people have to go through this in the military too, they get their hair dyed a natural ginger or a natural blonde or natural brown, and they're like, it's not natural. It's not natural to me because of what? The color of my skin. It's natural because another person is walking around with that same hair color. But you're basing it upon the color of my skin, and it's rooted in racism and wanting Black people to conform to Eurocentric values. And I think that's what's most important about it. And what people in power need to realize is you're just trying to control us and what we can do and what type of jobs we can have, even if that. You know, some people, you go to a small business, they're like, we don't want your hair to look like that. And they could base it upon health rules and everything like that. But I can just wear a hairnet. But it's also like they come with more and more rules on top of that. So it's protecting us and our rights that we have through the Constitution.
I would say, yeah, the biggest thing for me when it came to when it comes to the Crown Act, I worked with ACLU during this legislative session, and I helped host a sit-in for the Crown Act. So I called local hairstylists in West Virginia to come do a retwist on a model, and he had locks. So she was retwisting his locks outside of a senator's office who was refusing to pass the Crown Act. So it was a sit-in just to prove a point to him, like, we're going to show up, we're going to speak up, and we need more Black people to show up. And at the Capitol, it's all white people voting on Black hair. And they were like using the terms wrong and just didn't understand. But the bill, all it stated was it's illegal to discriminate against Black people's natural hair. And so my biggest thing was, why is that so hard to just vote on? Why is it hard to pass it? So my biggest thing was the why. And what I found interesting working at the Capitol, I would have white women come up to me and go, your hair is so beautiful. You're so pretty. I'm like, oh, thank you. And it'll be a legislator, a senator, or a delegate. I'm like, so you voted for the Crown Act, right? And they go, we'll see about that. And the woman, she voted no. And she had a loose hair texture too. It was a loose curl hair texture. But she voted no for the passage of the Crown Act. So I think it boils down to, it's just these European beauty standards and them wanting control. I think they know that it's simple. They know that it's basic human rights to not discriminate against Black people because of our natural hair. They just want that control.
Yeah.
All it is. I mean, there's Black girls in school getting their braids cut off by the teacher. There's people that I know in West Virginia who they got offered a higher position. They're like, yeah, but you have to get rid of your dreads. You can't come into work like that. Or you look unprofessional or unkept. And it's needed. They know it's needed. They know probably more about it than we think they do. They just want that control.
I really agree. I just feel, I don't know, I know about the Crown Act, but like I just like not recently, but like I just like found out what it means, is like what's going on. And I just feel like it's not right, because I feel like you shouldn't base it off of our hair texture or how we look. If we have the qualities for the job, or if we're doing good, it shouldn't matter that our hair is in dreads or braids or an afro. Because I feel like you can have an afro and still look like presentable, and like you deserve to have the job and just stuff like that. So I just feel like I don't know, people not agreeing with the Crown Act stuff. I just think it's weird. And I just feel like it shouldn't matter how our hair is. Because if we feel like we look presentable, then you should just be okay with that. You shouldn't try to change us or what we wear or how our hair looks. You should just be okay with what we're wearing, because you're not the one wearing it. You don't have to because most like white people, they can just wake up, brush their hair, but we have to do more for our hair. So I just feel like it's just a little weird.
I agree.
I sometimes don't think like people understand, like, and I've had to tell my friends like the term wash day. When I say wash day, it's an all day experience. That's a day about 6 to 8 hours I'm taking away from not reading them law school books that I'm taking like to do my hair. I'm deconditioning it. I'm washing. I'm finger detangling, but then I'm brush detangling. Then I have to sit and then finger all the product through it, multiple steps in sections. And then I got to sit with this little space machine thing with the hair dryer because over my head for like 3 hours, and I can't hear anything. So I can't like do focus on work. So I think it's understanding that, and it's kind of like taking the time away from us too. That's the benefit they get from the time that we don't get to do things that our white counterparts get to do. Same thing with, I know in West Virginia, and I know how many other places that for their hair test, they don't really have to learn how to do Black people's hair. They don't know the type. So like you said, it's going to be a different language for white people learning this when we say 4A, 4B, all those different things, because they don't understand. We say perm, but it's really a relaxer. So like the differences in our culture and our lingo that we have. And I think that people are scared that when we go to the Crown, like I think that's why, and I'm gonna name drop him, Eric Tarr, out of that fiscal note, because he knew that there might have been some type of financial thing. Now, granted, he said $5,000 and people raised it in West Virginia, lickety split, but he knew it might have been able to be on a test for the hair and beauty school, which it should be. Even though there's a small population in West Virginia, we shouldn't have to drive X amount of hours to get our hair done. I was in Morgantown driving to Charleston, missing school, definitely missing work to go get my hair done because that was the only available appointment before I would go on a trip or something. And that's not fair to us, because that's gas, that's money, that's education I missed out on. I didn't miss on money because I took vacation days, but other things that I could be doing that could be better with my time than worrying about my hair. And I think that's what he was scared.
Mm-hmm.